So Jalen Brunson is on the Fanatics Fest, and he gets asked a question. But he gets asked a question if he pitched to LeBron James for him to come to the New York Knicks. And Jalen Brunson, in my opinion, embarrasses LeBron James because he shows exactly how that whole process should go. And he is not one of those guys that's just going to pitch to somebody and ask somebody, come over and team up with me so we can win some championships.
Something extraordinary took place on the live stage at Fanatics Fest that sent shockwaves across the entire basketball world. New York Knicks superstar Jalen Brunson was featured on a panel alongside Ochocinco and Shannon Sharpe. During the conversation, Ochocinco confronted Brunson directly with a sharp and intriguing question. He specifically asked whether Brunson had personally reached out or made a recruiting pitch to a high-profile free agent like LeBron James to come to New York and form a brand new super team. The crowd immediately erupted with excitement, waiting to see if Brunson would validate the media rumors. However, the response Jalen Brunson delivered completely caught the entire audience off guard. Without hesitation, he gave an answer that not only shut down the speculation, but also delivered a massive reality check to the modern NBA player empowerment culture.
Jalen Brunson gets asked a question, like I said, if he made a pitch to LeBron James to come and join him in New York. And Jalen Brunson is like, all right, guys, you're going to love me for this one. I'm not pitching anything to anybody, basically. We got people in the front office, and they can do whatever they have to do to build a team that can win again or can win or whatever. But he literally shows by his comment that he's not one of those guys that's going to go after any player, LeBron James or anybody else, to try to join forces to win championships. He wants to beat the competition.
Brunson looked out at the cheering audience with a smirk and delivered a remarkably grounded response. He stated that his exact job on the court is beautifully simple. Go out on the hardwood, dribble the basketball, put the ball into the hoop, and try to play a little bit of defense. He made it crystal clear that deciding roster spots and recruiting new talent belongs entirely to the executives sitting above him in the organizational hierarchy, so he leaves all the pitching strictly to the front office. While it sounded like a humble statement on the surface, its impact cuts incredibly deep. Jalen Brunson completely rejected the modern superstar playbook, where elite players act like corporate general managers. He proved that he operates with an old-school competitive honor. He has zero interest in begging rivals to join forces, choosing instead to go through the competition.
You back in the gym already. The thought process of wanting to repeat again. Obviously, the pieces you guys have right now are excellent, right? But you can always add more. Right. You know, it's like cooking food. Ain't nothing wrong with adding a little seasoning to it. Did you pitch to a certain player who's in free agency right now who has yet to decide where he wants to go to probably come to New York? I'm just asking.
You guys want to know? You guys want to know? All right.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna love me for this. I got asked this question recently, and I answered it perfectly, truthfully. My job is to go out there, dribble the ball, put the ball in the hoop.
Yes.
Try and play a little defense. There's people who are above me that make jobs who determine who's on the team and who's not. So I leave the pitching to them.
For over a decade and a half, the league has been dominated by the superstar collusion era, a trend largely popularized when LeBron James made his iconic move in 2010. Since then, top-tier athletes have routinely organized summer text chains to dictate where they would team up next. But Brunson's statement highlights a stark contrast to that generation. Rather than trying to hijack front offices or assemble a traveling circus of aging stars for an easy ring, Brunson chooses structural integrity. He already demonstrated his commitment by taking a massive pay cut on his contract extension, willingly leaving millions on the table so the Knicks could build a complete championship-caliber roster. While LeBron James consistently demanded every single penny of max money and then blamed management for depth issues, Brunson prioritizes organizational success over personal greed.
What a perfect freaking response. What a perfect freaking response. A response like that, and Anthony Edwards saying, You know, if you're looking for the new face of the NBA, could as well be Jalen Brunson, because you probably need a championship under your belt to be the face of the NBA, and he just won one as the main guy. So if Jalen Brunson is the face of the NBA or one of the faces of the NBA, I am super glad to see him and his approach and to see the direction that the NBA is going in. Because we're going in a direction where people, it looks like people are starting to move away from teaming up and joining up and doing all that crap that LeBron's done. By the time he's out of the league, his circus, his garbage, his, weak approach.
Jalen Brunson's brilliant live television response wasn't just a clever answer to a recruiting question. It was a total public rejection of the entire modern superstar playbook that has weakened basketball's competitive spirit over the last decade. Under the strict rules of the current collective bargaining agreement and the punitive second tax apron, the super team model has become a financial death sentence for franchise depth. When a superstar demands maximum compensation while simultaneously pushing management to acquire another max contract player, the team loses its mid-level exceptions. Draft picks become frozen, and bench depth is completely destroyed. We saw this toxic cycle play out repeatedly in Cleveland, Miami, and Los Angeles, where the immediate reaction to adversity was always looking around for another superstar savior to bail out the roster. However, the basketball landscape is undergoing a massive cultural correction, led by a new generation of elite stars like Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, and Victor Wembanyama. Anthony Edwards famously noted that to truly become the definitive face of the league, an athlete must win a championship as the primary option, a monumental feat Brunson accomplished without taking a single shortcut or begging for help. These modern leaders do not spend their off-seasons coordinating secret moves with rival stars to bypass the grind. They train with their respective teams, respect their coaches' systems, and step onto the hardwood, ready to crush whoever stands opposite them. The corporate sports media, which thrives on manufactured drama, trade speculation, and cryptic social media posts, is terrified of this return to traditional professionalism. Brunson demonstrated that a genuine leader does not need to act like an executive or participate in a media circus. He simply shows up, executes his job, and lets his production on the floor do all the talking. By stepping back and allowing executives to handle roster construction, while focusing entirely on basketball accountability, Brunson has ushered in a refreshing era of organizational stability and authentic competitive honor. The era of superstar collusion and corporate team building is officially dead, and Jalen Brunson delivered the final embarrassing blow on live television.